Santa Barbara Baker here, bringing you a Brussels sprouts and apple pizza. I have my naturally fermented sourdough all stretched out. Recipes for dough are up on the blog at santabarbarabaker.com. That's where I have all the dough recipes, sourdough, as well as now I have a yeasted dough recipe on there, just using commercial yeast. Nothing wrong with that. Got it all stretched out to about 14 inches here. I'm using the Ooni bamboo cutting peel. It's a 14-inch peel. It's really nice to build on. For these white pies like this, I start off with the cheese. You know, put in a nice generous amount here because we don't really have a sauce per se on this one. When you're building a pizza, you want to put the toppings, lower down that you might have maybe sketching, it might burn a little bit. So we're going to hit it with some garlic next. This cheese is filling in really nice. Maybe just hit it with a couple more pieces here. Onto the garlic. I just have it thinly sliced. Saying put this a little bit lower in your build order. That way it doesn't burn. Nobody likes burnt garlic. Feel that's a nice flavor there with the Brussels sprouts. I quartered the Brussels sprouts, already roasted them. I like that tenderizes them a little bit. You can also, if you have some extra leaves, finish it off with the leaves. All right, again, with these toppings that are a little problematic with burning, have some walnuts here. That's another thing. We like them roasted, but never burnt. So I hit it with a nice little handful of walnuts here. It's another fun flavor with apples and Brussels sprouts. Looks good to me. All right, yeah, almost forgot here. There's another key flavor in this delicious pizza, Super Eddie's here, the caramelized onions. If you have a lot of onions on hand, it's a good way to use them up. I mean, you can cook down like 10 onions and you end up with this, but seriously, just chop them up or slice them, put them in a pot. I mean, they kind of do their own thing, a nice slow and low, and nice caramelized sweet flavors. It tastes really nice with the apples and Brussels sprouts. I'll put a nice little generous amount here. These do have some moisture in them, so you want to be a little bit careful. You're not going too big, but that's the nice thing. The white pie like this, you don't have a sauce, but some caramelized onions like this add some nice moisture to the pie. I kind of gooped it there and got a little bit of the moisture from these super moist caramelized onions onto the pizza peel I'm building on. You always want to make sure you clear that off because that can definitely stick. Onto the Brussels. So these are already roasted, quartered like I mentioned. Gonna do a nice generous handful here. You could roast them simply on the pie too, but I feel like they come out better with a little bit of a pre-roast on there. Going pretty generous here, filling out the pizza. Looking good to me. Hey, let's just go all in and do the whole batch. That looks pretty good to me. On to the apples. So again, with our building order, these apples are just raw, diced up. I do want to get a little roast on these. I wouldn't be, bummed out if these caramelized up a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to put them on top where they're going to get a little more heat from the flame. Going to finish this off with the apples. Do a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Always season your pizzas. Hit it with a little salt and pepper. Get it loaded up into the Ooni Koda 16, which I have fired up outside. I turn it down just before I start stretching, but that's after a full preheat. We're gonna get this thing loaded up, take it for a bake. It's pizza time. Loading up my Brussels sprouts and apple pizza in the Ooni Koda 16. Shooting for about a 3 to 4 minute bake here. I got the oven turned all the way down. That's how I like to bake in this oven. I give it a full preheat, at least 30 minutes. But then when I start stretching the pie, I turn it down, let it cool down a little bit. That allows me to bake for a little bit longer. I like going for a little bit crispier crust. As it starts to bake here, we're looking for seeing some leopardine popping up. The cheese starts to melt. That's all good signs that you can safely go in with your turning peel, give it a little spin. Taking a look here, it's looking pretty good to me. We'll give it a little bit longer here. I'm seeing some leopardine pop up. All good things we like to see. This pizza is loaded, so we want to definitely be careful here on our turns, making sure that crust has a few seconds to set. Let's go down here and clear it underneath. Looking pretty good here. Little bit of stickage there. But so far, so good. You can see I look like a little piece of Brussels maybe up on the top of the crust there, flaming up. Got an apple popping up here, so we got some little debris that we're gonna have to deal with here, but we'll get the job done. So far, so good. Gonna go in here for another quarter turn, just popping it up, giving it a nice spin. Nice here. Look at that leoparding, the fermentation looking really good on this batch of dough. It should be a tasty pizza. With that 3 to 4 minute bake, we're shooting for it should be nice and soft, but a crispy bottom that can hold up to a lot of toppings on here because we got this thing pretty loaded. Looking pretty good here. Baking up really nice. You can peek underneath the bottom here. Looking so far so good. Gonna probably hit it here into the ultra low zone once I finish up these couple last turns. That's going clockwise up to the max point, pushing in, turning, and that gets you into a little secret zone of the Ooni Koda 16, where you can bake at a lower temp for a longer duration, crisping up the bottom of that pie. Liking the looks of this so far. The oven's cranking today, so it's baking up fast. Looking pretty good to me. This here turning looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit scorched there. Look at that, a little bit burnt on that. That's right, let's get this oven turned down into the ultra low zone to finish it off here. This pizza's looking about done. Got some definite little bit over char there, but we'll live. Looking all right. This pizza, the flavors on this one look really good. Just finishing this up here. Bottom looking really nice. All right, I think this pie is done. Let's pull it out and take a look. It's looking good to me. Maybe a little light on that end, but we got a little bit crispy on the one rim there on the crust. We're gonna get this onto the rack. Let it hang out as we always do. Let the crust set, for about a minute. Slice it up. We'll give this thing a taste. It's pizza time. This pizza is smelling so delicious. The bake, overall went okay. A little bit charred. The oven was running really hot. Didn't have my best bake ever, but it still looks like it cooked up pretty nice. The flavors on this one should be really good. We have those caramelized onions along with the Brussels sprouts, walnuts in there. A nice little bit of texture, little bit of bitterness from those. Always the dank. Along with that, some apples. I feel like that brings it together for a really seasonal pie. Let's give this one a taste. Let's see what's sliced here. I go for that, little 3 to 4 minute bake there, a little crispier slice. You can see this thing, we loaded it up with toppings, and it's still holding up. We got the tip starting to sag there, so let's get in this thing. Oh, wow. That is a really delicious pizza. I really love the apples in here. I play around with apples occasionally on pizza, and sometimes leave something to be desired. I can see I'm dumping off all my Brussels sprouts. I have to pick those up and put them on there. But apples on a pizza, so dank. I feel like they can be a little bit problematic, but diced up like this, they bake up really nice. Little roasted flavors going on, along with that caramelized onions, a little more sweetness, the crunch coming in through, a little bit of the walnuts in there. Super bomb. Along with the star of the show, of course, the Brussels sprouts. Were dripping cheese, Brussels everywhere. But this is the kind of pizza, we're loading this up. It's like a dinner pie here. Hope you enjoy this one. Recipes up on the blog at santabarbarabaker.com. Check it out. That's where you can find all my recipes, including dough. Hope this pizza finds you living your pizza dreams, dreaming about pizza, making pizza. I love you all. Follow me on Instagram. I'm Santa Barbara Baker on there as well. One love.